So I'm here today with the wonderful Daniel Borg from Psyborg. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Daniel.
Oh, hey Steph, great to be on the show. I've been running my design business for about 10 years now and done over 1,600 projects, I think. And
wow.
It's been amazing. I work with a broad range of clients, all around Australia, and basically work with clients on developing their brand and
Awesome.
using that work to then take it through their advertising, their website, digital media, social media, content marketing and things like that. Yeah.
Excellent. So we met 7 years ago when we were attempting to come up with our accounting business. We had absolutely no idea what we were going to do, but I really chose you because you had such a brilliant, structured understanding of what a business was trying to do from a branding point of view and how a business could use that branding to actually get themselves out there. So for us, we had no clients, like we were starting with zero base, absolutely nothing, and knew that we needed to do something different to be able to get ourselves out there. So talk to me about your actual process of how you delve into understanding what a business wants and being able to portray that.
Definitely. Well, one thing I didn't mention, I've actually got an engineering background as well. So before I did graphic design at university, I did 6 years in the engineering game, did an associate diploma, worked as a training engineer and started a degree in engineering. And look, I didn't go too well in it. That's why I changed to graphic design, because that was my true passion. But I did learn a lot from engineering, and a lot of it is about structure and prioritizing and really understanding how to solve a problem. I think that's what an engineer does, they solve problems. So basically I take all of that methodology, that engineering methodology, and apply it to the creative process. So, as a designer, I sort of use that engineering background to my advantage. And when a client comes in, the first thing is just to listen and really listen and let the client talk as much as possible and really get under their skin or get inside their brain, if you like, and start to work out, where they're coming from and understand their objectives. But then from there, you start to do some brainstorming yourself, develop concepts, present it to the client and work with them in a collaborative approach. So, look, the client is always right, but I sort of guide them and use my creative flair and my sort of technical expertise to bring it to reality. Yeah.
Perfect. So that methodology for us was so brilliant, because when you're starting something new, you might have ideas about what you want to do, but it's so good to be able to have someone with a structure and a process and a really, really good understanding of the big picture to be able to guide you in the right direction. Is that something that you find most people come with a part of an idea and then you can mould it into everything else? Or
yeah, look, there's kind of been two types of clients. Some people who just know what they want, and that's kind of easy for me because I'm like the illustrator, I just draw what they want. But then most of them don't really know what they want, and I sort of pull it out of them. So they've got a sense of it, but when we do some research and look at the market and where they're positioning themselves, as well as who their competitors are, it makes it really easy to bring it out. So I guess I query them and question a lot and pull that stuff out. They kind of didn't even know they had those ideas, really. So you sort of tease it out of them.
Awesome. Now, the one thing that you taught me that I will never ever forget in my lifetime, it's ingrained in my brain and I try and do it every single day, was to brand everything. Talk to me about that philosophy.
Yeah, so there's something about consistency of brand, or the value of consistency, really. So it's how you make sure that every time you use your brand, it's consistent and on brand, so that whenever somebody sees it, they're seeing it for the first time, and then when they see it again, it's starting to build up trust. Because, our brains like trust, or like consistency. So if you met somebody on the street and they're talking to you, but then all of a sudden they start changing their language or start talking about something different, they might change their body posture, they look in the other direction, they're sort of inconsistent. You quickly lose trust, and so it's exactly the same for a brand. So your brand is your personality of your business. So it has to be consistent. You have to use it the same way every time. It might feel boring for you, but for the general public who hasn't seen you before or starting to learn about you, it's not boring, it's consistent, it builds trust, and it's one of the most powerful things. I think a lot of small businesses kind of don't get that, but that's what a lot of big businesses do. So big brands like, you know, your Coca-Colas, your McDonald's, Microsoft, Apple, all the tech guys, they're consistent, and small businesses can do it. It doesn't really cost that much. It's just a mindset, you know, an approach.
And it was fantastic that you taught me that very early on, first day in our business, because I would have had no idea and been off on 100 different tangents. And you are very right in that small business has a great opportunity to be able to brand everything, because not many people do.
No.
And for us as a business, we've just skyrocketed because of the branding that you have done for us. People know us as, oh, you're those ninja guys, or you're the people with the caricatures. And it's so fantastic because we haven't had to do anything. Your branding and being able to teach us what we needed to do has just catapulted our business forward without having to do anything else.
It's awesome that you say that, because I don't really like to think that I would take any credit from that, because you guys have done the hard work. Like, I might have said that in our first meeting, and to be honest, I can't even remember saying it, but it is probably a bit of a mantra.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, right. It's probably a mantra that I do use whenever I meet new clients, but to be honest, I try and guide as much as I can, but the client has to do it and take the ball and run with it. And you guys have done that, and it's been awesome being able to sit beside you guys and watch you guys grow. And you know, and if you can credit that to branding, that's awesome. That sort of goes with the flow of what I've been talking about. So that's fantastic.
Definitely. Yeah. So maybe you should explain what you actually have done for Growthwise over these wonderful 7 years.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's been awesome. I've had heaps of fun with it. And, you know, the first thing was really the brainstorming meeting where we sort of defined what Growthwise was as a concept, as a logo. And so then we designed the logo, you approve the logo. Then from there, you usually design your company stationery, or company collateral, they like to call it nowadays. And that's where you present that brand or that logo across all your stationery, business cards, letterheads with compliment slips. You know, digital media such as Word document templates, invoice templates, email signatures. So we build all that. That's kind of the next level, I suppose. And then from there, we start to do a bit of advertising or some press work. So, you know, flyers or, you know, email newsletter templates. The website, you know, we did the original website back in the day, and, you know, even though I didn't do the second website, Newism, which are great, love you guys, they actually use the same brand.
Exactly.
They used the assets that I created, and they brought it all together, and it was consistent. So that was that, and then since then we've done the caricatures, we've done the ninjas. So, you know, there's all the different products and services you provide. We've kind of branded them within the theme of the overall Growthwise brand. So that comes back to colour, it comes back to typography, making sure it's consistent. And then, you know, we've worked on some internal stuff like client avatars, posters, all your internal signage, you know, and yeah, external signage.
External, absolutely everything. I mean, our building is like a walking billboard for Growthwise, both internally and externally. But what I love about what you've been able to create is things that we want to remember and bring to life every day. You have created these beautiful posters for us, and even our wall murals where, you know, we've got learn, because that's what we're trying to help our clients with, and we're trying to help everyone grow. And it's a great reminder every single day when we come to this office, this is exactly what we are about.
Well, you're talking about internal branding then, aren't you? So you're branding yourself so that you're on brand when you go external. So you're actually training yourself as well. So that's really important. And you know, branding is about stamping your ideas and concepts on other people's minds. And if you don't understand that yourself internally, how can you expect to do it to other people? So, you know, I'm glad to have helped you do that,
And it looks good, right? You're not coming into this dull, boring office with white walls or, you know, the standard pictures of Newcastle, which, by the way, are quite nice. But it's then a business that's all about you. And I know you've done that with your home, and I've been out to photograph your home because it's amazing how you've got all of the things that you're working on up on your wall as well, which is a great reminder every single day of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's about focus and like bringing your vision into focus, you know, like, so you're continually, you've got this projection of what you want to achieve, but then you've got this focus on the now to do the little steps to achieve that. So it's, if you have to have it in your space to make sure you do it, and it's all action-based,
That nice reminder, the nice visual, beautiful reminder as well. All right, so if someone's starting a business or if someone's thinking, wow, okay, I don't really have a brand, I'd love to be able to have a brand, I want something that connects with the outside world and people, do you have some tips?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a 3 sort of step process, like an overall process, and the first is to get your logo right. One thing with branding is once you get it done, it's going to stay with you for hopefully the first 10 years, or, you know, it shouldn't really ever change. It can evolve, it can sort of mature, but it should pretty much stay the same. So you need to spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of, just, you know, get the brand right from the start, because once you go with it, that's it. You've got to stick with it, because that's why consistency is really important. Okay, so you get that right, and then the second part is actually creating like a client avatar, if you like, so some kind of system that you understand who your ideal client is, and then whenever you communicate to the world, you're technically communicating to that client. It's just a made-up figure, but it makes sure that your communication is on brand, so you're constantly communicating to that client avatar. And the third part is, which we kind of alluded to, is making sure you train all your staff and train yourself to actually talk to that client, so that you're constantly keeping consistent within all your communications. So yeah, I mean, branding is really just consistent communication.
It really is that consistency as key, but people remember it. So I still have people who say to me, oh, you guys have the ninjas, and you created those for us 6 years ago now, so they're not new. We don't, you know, we haven't done a big push as branding to say, this is brand new stuff that we have, but people still remember you're the guys with the ninjas, because they are across everything, as you taught us, brand everything. They're across everything that we do, and really helps for us to stand out.
Yeah, so some of the trickery with that is just using emotional archetypes. So a ninja is a swift, fast beast, you know, and agile. And so it's not really about the ninja, it's about what a ninja does, and then using that in all of your metaphors of your business to sort of stimulate ideas and concepts and communication. So yeah, like that's where good design comes in. You're actually thinking behind what the result is that you're trying to portray, and then you put that in within your graphic design, your branding, your strategy, and then that just, you know, it's all the subliminal work that happens within that.
Which is perfect. Now, I had another accountant, ask me a couple of weeks ago how I had gone about branding Growthwise separately to branding Steph. And I'd originally answered this question as in, I've never branded myself, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I've always gone to brand Growthwise. But you brought up a really good point with me that yes, our intention was to always brand Growthwise, but as part of that intention, we wanted to portray us as humans, because we want to be interacting with people, and it is all about us. So talk me through your process of branding Growthwise, but subliminally you were branding us as people as well.
Definitely. So we created these caricatures, so these faces of each character, and that started out as superheroes, which kind of worked with the ninja sort of thing. So, and then we ended up illustrating each person's face, and we did that in a particular style, which is what we're saying, the Growthwise style. I mean, it was a vector style, but it was a similar colour palette of what the Growthwise colour palette is. So then when each individual uses their own facial profile in their social media platform, which is massive now, you know, there's like 5 or 6 decent channels that you want to put yourself in. And that's in those channels. So it subliminally leverages back to the Growthwise brand. So
which is fantastic. So getting double whammy for actually just looking at the business, which brings that if you've got a brand that is about people and is about being able to deliver certainly a service as opposed to just a product, it really is important to have that mix of people and brand.
Yeah, and look, I think I learned some of this from myself with Cyborg. I mean, my surname is Borg, which is where I was inspired by the name Cyborg, but also my wife's a clinical psychologist and I've got an interest in psychology. So PSY, Borg, Cyborg. But then it's playing on the techie side, like part mind, part machine, part man, part machine, all the stuff I do. But so I've kind of branded my business Cyborg, but then Daniel Borg is a person within that, and the part mind, so me as a person, as a cyborg. So, you can do it. Like there's ways to be a personal brand as well as being a business brand, but it just takes some cleverness and some really deep thinking to sort of work out the puzzle.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's the best thing. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.